you want to bleach your hair. Maybe you've heard one too many horror stories about people bleaching their hair at home and think that won't happen to me because I'm never going to try. I don't want to fry my hair off and I can't afford salon prices, so I guess I'll just never have fun, colorful hair. Well, that all changes today because this is Tips with Trix, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to bleach your hair at home. If you are new to my channel, my name is Trix. I took cosmetology classes in high school, and I have been bleaching and coloring my own hair for the past, 10 years. So I have a lot of experience, and my hair is, as you can see, still intact. And as you can also see, I need to bleach my regrowth, also known as my roots, and I thought instead of making just a normal boring video of me bleaching my hair, I would give you guys something that you could learn from and take away from. So I'm going to give you guys some tips for bleaching your hair at home today, and hopefully you learn something and feel a little more confident with the task. So let's just go over some precautions when it comes to bleaching your hair. For starters, bleach is a harsh chemical. It is going into your hair shaft and pulling the pigment out of your hair and leaving it high and physically dry. At the end of the day, you are damaging your hair. Now, I'm not going to use the term killing your hair because your hair is, scientifically speaking, already dead when it comes out of your scalp. But you still want to maintain the moisture and the life of your hair. And I've been bleaching my hair for 10 years. It's still attached to my head. It is a beautiful white shade. You can see the difference in the color. And I'm sure that is what you are hoping to get out of this. So let's go over how to do that. So when you are bleaching your hair at home, it is cheaper than going to the salon. But I'm not going to say it costs $5. You can find a box bleach at the grocery store that is around $10. Stay away from that. That's not going to give you the results you want, and that will only further reinstate that idea that you can't bleach your hair at home. So don't expect to only spend $5. When I bleach my hair, this costs about $15 to $20 depending on the size. And then the developer costs $12, and I also add in a little booster that's about $6. And of course you need things to mix and apply the bleach with, which can also cost some money as well. I don't really know how much this costs, but that being said, you're spending around $30 to $50. It depends on how much hair you have and how much you're bleaching it as well. Don't just buy box bleaches. Buy something from Sally's or a hair store that is made for hair, and talk to the people that work there, see what's best for you, maybe even research the products that they have. When in doubt, I am very proud to admit that I research things. It is a great thing to do. It is a great skill to have. You should look at reviews for products, YouTube videos of people using the products, find people that look like you, have the same hair that's like yours, and see how it works for them, and just learn all that you can, because you are chemically altering your hair in a drastic way, and you should know what you're doing entirely. When I say don't use box dyes, I know you could be like, well, they worked fine for me in the past. They worked fine for me too. I bleached my hair with box bleach for years before I switched to this ion bleach, and there's videos of me on YouTube being like, mind your own business, I do what I want, and that's fine and dandy, but bleach in the box dye form is a very one-size-fits-all. So it has one kind of developer, and it is made for a specific kind of hair type, more so mine than other people's. And just because I don't have any problems doesn't mean you won't have any problems, doesn't mean the next person won't have any problems. So it's better to just know exactly what you're getting. So you should always just get an actual hair bleach and hair developer from the hair store or Sally's. So you are ready to bleach your hair. What kind of bleach should you get? I personally, this is not sponsored, I just love this brand. I get the Ion Bright White Cream Lightener. It has 8 levels of lift, and it comes with keratin and sunflower seed oil, which can help condition and protect your hair while it's lightening, which is great. I like their products. I like their hair colors. They always do me right. I use their bleach lightener and their developer. You need both to make it work. You can't just use one or the other. And this is their sensitive scalp developer, and it has conditioning wheat protein and a refreshing fragrance. So this is the bleach and developer that I get. I just get them at Sally's. Like I said, this is $15 for the smaller bottle, and this is I don't know, $12. I'm not really sure exactly the price, but those are what I get. And to further protect my hair, I use the Ion Absolute Perfection Booster, which helps strengthen, smooth, and restore moisture. You just need a little bit of this with your lightener, and I really only use it when I'm doing lighteners. I don't use this on my actual hair colors because I just use a semi-permanent color, so it's not necessary. But it really helps you protect your hair and just take any step that you can to maintain the integrity of your hair. Then you are going to need a mixing bowl and a tint brush. These should be plastic because it is a harsh chemical. It can react with metals and you don't want that. So I always use plastic, and I don't know if you're an artist, but you could mix it with the brush, but a lot of artists don't really like mixing their paint with brushes. They like to use palette knives. I'm the same way. I just use a plastic fork or a plastic spoon, just so it's like evenly mixed on the brush and it's not just like only bleach and only developer in some spots and like streaky, because that's how you're gonna get the splotchiness, and you don't want splotchiness. So you got all the stuff ready. Let's go into when you should bleach your hair. So you should always bleach your hair when it's oily. The natural oils in your hair will offer a protective layer from the bleach from really doing a lot of damage, and you want to limit damage as much as possible, basically. If you can't wait, you should apply a leave-in conditioner or an oil like coconut oil to your hair to prevent it from drying out in the process. And if you are still scared about bleaching your hair, maybe somebody has bleach near you and you're like, I want to try it, but I don't really want to buy my own just yet, I don't really know what I'm doing, do a strand test. A strand test is a great way to see how the hair will react for that lightener and for you, and what kind of strength you're going to need, and just how your hair will feel after the fact. So you could cut out a piece of hair, or you could just leave it attached to your head and just find a little spot like in the back somewhere that's going to be easily covered up. I personally, I like to leave it on the head because your head emits heat, and heat helps the bleach process, so you will get a more accurate result if you leave it on the head, whereas if you cut it off and put it on a cold counter, it won't really show the same kind of results, and you want accurate results if you're doing a strand test. Plus, if you have any irritation or skin problems from the bleach, which you should be avoiding your scalp anyway, but regardless, if you have any irritation, you will know right away, and you won't have to wait until it's all over your head to experience that. So your head is the hottest at the crown, which means that any bleach that you apply at this area of your head will lighten the fastest, process the fastest. So I like to use 20 volume developer for my hair. I would consider my hair kind of thin, and it is relatively dark, but anything more than 20 volume would just be too much. I typically use 30 volume with my clients who are darker complexion because their hair is coarser and it can withstand higher developers. I just bleached my boyfriend's sister's hair, and I used 30 volume developer on her, and it came out great. I actually had to bleach her hair twice, which I will get into that and how to do that a little bit later. But try to just stick with like 20 volume, or when in doubt, use one less than what you think you'll need. And the phrase is go low and slow, which it will still lighten quite a bit, but it'll just take a little longer, and it won't really damage your hair as much either, because the higher the developer, the lower the processing time. But don't just take that and be like, oh, well, I want my hair to lighten in 5 minutes, so I'm gonna go at 40 volume developer. That is not good because while it is faster, it's also more damaging. So you want your hair to kind of just be like, okay, there's bleach on me, we're gonna lighten, let's go. Not just, what is this? Oh my god, it's out, what's going on? And it's crazy, it's dry, it's breaking off, it's frizzy, not good. Also, speaking of dry and frizzy and not good, if you go to a salon, you need to treat it like going to the doctor's office. Tell them your hair's history. Tell them what you have done to your hair, whether you have applied a permanent color, a henna color, that sun-in spray that lightens your hair in the sun. Whatever kind of products you use, when in doubt, just tell them everything, because I have anxiety and I will overshare, but there's no shame in that. You'd rather overshare than undershare, especially when it comes to chemically altering your hair and your appearance, because for a lot of people, hair is very important to them, and hair is very important to me, so therefore I want to just be completely transparent with everybody when it comes to my hair. And you should too. If you were to bleach over, let's say like a henna dye or some permanent dyes, there can be a chemical reaction. Your hair could start smoking, your hair could literally catch on fire. It is not a pretty sight, so you always want to be transparent with what's in your hair, and that's why they do strand tests too. So if you have previously colored your hair, you can do a strand test to see how it will react to that hair color and go from there. But you never want to just like put sun in your hair and dye it with permanent black box dye that's $5 and then go to the salon and have them bleach it and then get mad at them when it comes out bad. You know what I mean? Like, you know your hair better than they do. Just like going to the doctor, you want to make sure that there's no medical reactions, with the medicines that you're using, so you need to tell them all your medical history and what medicines you're using. So you're ready to bleach your hair. Let's get into that. Always bleach your hair in a well-ventilated area and try not to move your head around a lot. I know that kind of sounds weird and scary, but let's just say like there's like a dome of like fumes around your head when you bleach your hair. So if you like move your head, that's gonna go right in your eyes and right in your face, and it is not fun. I'm used to it now after all this time, but it still catches me off guard, and I don't really like it, so try to avoid that as much as possible. Make sure you're in a well-ventilated area, and if you need somebody to help you with the back, don't hesitate to ask. It's really not that hard, and it's much better for you to like make somebody help you so you get a good even result than trying to do it all by yourself and getting like splotchy results and not really know how to fix it from there. Also, wear your gloves. You need gloves. I see so many people online brag about how they never wear gloves when they color their hair and they just flaunt their pink and blue hands, and you need to understand that colors like Manic Panic, Arctic Fox, Eero, those semi-permanent conditioner-based colors are not bleach in any shape or form, so you cannot just be like, well, they don't use the gloves and they're doing their hair, so I'm doing my hair. I don't need to wear gloves, because those are two different processes and you need to wear gloves. Like I said, if it can react with metals and stuff, you don't want that on your skin. You should even avoid your scalp when you're putting it on your head. So wear your gloves. You're gonna need gloves, especially if you plan on bleaching your hair regularly. The other tricks, forgot to mention that you should always wear a shirt that you don't care about, because that will lighten the shirt. I don't know if you could tell, but like, see that? That's bleach. That was from me bleaching my hair. Now we're going to get into the actual process. You are ready to bleach your hair. You got the gloves, and you got the bleach, and you got the developer. Let's mix them together. All right, so you're going to, I just eyeball it with the texture because I've done it so long. I just do like a caramel consistency. But if you like ratios and stuff like that, do a 2-to-1 ratio. 2 parts developer to 1 part of lightener, and you can use like a powder lightener, a cream lightener, it doesn't really matter, but you will still need to mix it with developer at the end of the day, and that is the ratio for that. Mix it with your little plastic fork. Cut to me doing that because I am gonna bleach my hair while I'm talking to you guys. Also, bleach expands. I'm getting bleach all over this, but it's fine. I just finished the back of my hair, so you would think that there would be less bleach in the bowl, but it actually looks like it's overflowing a bit. It looks like it hasn't changed at all, and it has changed texture to like a frosting-y, cottage cheesy texture, which is totally normal and fine. Nothing to worry about there. You can still use it. Just work fast because it will get hot in the bowl, and it does, like I said, it's processing. See underneath my hair right now, it is already getting lighter, and I still have all this to do. So we gotta work fast with bleach. I like to do the back as one section. So to section off the back of your head, go behind your ear to the apex of your head. If you do your nails, you know that the apex is the tallest part of your nails. The same is for your head. Find the tallest part of your head. If you're having trouble, get like a comb. I know I have my hair in a bun right now, and just like see where that tallest part is on your head. And for me, honestly, I try to make it so where I can see it, where I can see the top, because when I'm bleaching my hair, I need to be able to just make sure I'm getting all of it. So if I like do the sectioning like way down here, I can't see that even if I do bend my head because I don't have eyes up here, you know what I mean? So I try to make sure that I can at least just see it so I know it's fully saturated. And that is one section. And then I part it down the middle and do 2 side sections, and those are my sections. Another thing, if you have previously bleached ends like I do, always make sure you can see them. Like, don't tuck them in the bun far away because that leaves them like in the line of fire and they'd be more likely to get bleached. Also use plastic clips, not metal clips, and yeah, just always make sure you can see the ends so you know that they aren't getting bleached. And I start off with the back. So you can now just take a small little section using the end of a rat tail comb or a tint brush and just make a small section. I do this annoying thing. I can't really like feel things with gloves on, so I have to like put the gloves on, apply the bleach, take the gloves off, resection my hair, put the gloves on, bleach my hair. Like, it's a lot, but hopefully you don't need to do that. So just brush it out and section it. And work in small sections to ensure that you're saturating them enough. Like, and I mean small, like maybe half an inch. A gabagool. A good rule of thumb is that this knuckle is about an inch. That's what we learn in cos school. I know everybody's different, but for the most part, that's a good inch, and you want to do about half of that for each section. And if you are having trouble, you can use your fingers and like just feel where the bleach is, like lightly tap, and then like just go a little bit above that and section it. I like to like bring my fingernails together so it's nice and straight, and that's just how I like to section it. That could help you too. And another way to ensure that you are covering the back of your head thoroughly, I like to just use my fingers for the back, like the very back, and put some on. Can you see? Yeah. And then just like rub it in between my fingers. And it's okay if you add too much. Just like make sure that you are concentrating it where it needs to go. And avoid your scalp. I know I said that. My body is used to it at this point, so it's not as bad, but you should still avoid your scalp as much as possible. So like I just put some on top and then rub it together. Separate the hair to make sure that it's really coating top and bottom. And then when I do like the side parts, I will do like this part, section it, flip it over, and then do this back of it, and then just like keep going down until I reach my ear. I don't just do one side, flip it, one side, flip it. You gotta make sure that both sides are evenly saturated with something like bleach. And then I'll even like take like a tiny bit and lift up my hair. To make sure I got everywhere. And then when I do the top front sections, I first like to make sure that like all of the bleach on the other side, like on the back section, around the perimeter is good. And then I go around the perimeter of this front section right here. And do the very middle. Trying to avoid that scalp as much as possible. Okay, so I just took out this top section, and then we're gonna go on the other side of it. Make sure you get the hair closest to your forehead and face. And then try not to overlap it on the already bleached areas. If you're bleaching your hair for the first time, you won't have that. And it will be a little bit different. You won't start off with the roots. You'll start off with like the mid shaft of your hair. When in doubt, like I said, always do research, always read directions. They're there for a reason. We have all the knowledge in the world at our fingertips. You want to make sure you're doing it right and you're doing a good job. Don't be afraid to admit that you don't know everything and research some things. Learn a new skill. In order to learn a new skill, you have to admit that you don't know the skill. Look at that. Fun. But keep it wet. I like to cover my hair when I bleach it in a processing cap or a plastic bag, but make sure you use a plastic bag that like doesn't have a logo on it, or the logo's like not touching the bleach directly, because I'm sure we've all seen that funny Vine where the girl's bleaching her hair and she has the Kroger bag and then the Kroger logo is stuck on her head. So you need to keep the bleach wet, because once it starts to dry, it'll stop processing. So I put that cap on, and don't let it sit for too long. I usually just eyeball it to see if it's light enough, like light all around. You can also take the back of a pintail comb or tint brush and just like rub the bleach off of the hair and see how light it is. And if it's not light enough, it doesn't match with like, let's say the back part of your hair that was already done, just cover it back up with bleach and let it sit for like another 5 minutes, and just start checking it every 5 minutes. But the maximum amount of time that I leave the bleach on would be about 30 minutes. If your hair is finer or coarser, it will process for different times. So just like keep an eye on it. That's why I just like to eyeball it and make sure it's all even and light enough to my liking. I never leave it on longer than like 40 minutes. Like, that is the maximum, and I'm only saying that because I am experienced and I went to school for this, so I kind of know what I'm doing a bit more. But 30 minutes, I would say, is like the maximum to leave it on for somebody who's just starting out. And if it is burning, if you are having any burning or irritation, rinse it off. Do not leave it on. Beauty is pain, but it is not chemical burn pain. So rinse that off. It could be an allergic reaction. Make sure you're not like having any sort of problem, like anaphylactic shock or something. Just rinse it off and take a breather. Assess the situation later. You know what I mean? Worry about your health first. And when you are rinsing it off, let's say you got it all bleached, it looks great, whatever. You didn't have a chemical reaction, you're not burning, you're fine. You're ready to rinse it off now. Rinse it off in cool water, cold water. It doesn't need to be like ice cold, but don't do hot water. Don't do hot water because, like I said, it is a harsh chemical. It reacts with heat, it processes and gets hotter as it processes. So why would you put more hot on it? That's not good. I rinsed my hair out after bleaching with hot water once, and I got chemical burns and blisters on my scalp. Never ever again. Don't do that. And even, I would say rinse it out with gloves, so, because you touch your hair when you rinse it out, so like, use gloves. Also, just like how bleach can cause burns and blisters on your head, you shouldn't put bleach on if you have an open wound on your scalp. Like if you get acne or a cut, you shouldn't put chemicals on a cut. Like if it's called bleach, you should probably stay away from any open wounds that you have. And then some other things that comes with bleaching your hair. If your hair is like black or a super duper dark brown, that means it has like a red undertone to it. That's just how it is. So if you bleach your hair, it will come out orange. It will come out orange. There's no way around it. When Miss Kim K went from black hair to platinum blonde, that was a process. Anytime you go from super dark to super light, it is a process that takes more than one visit, more than one application, and it will take several weeks. I just recently bleached my boyfriend's sister's hair, like I said before, and I had to bleach her hair twice. I let her know that her hair will turn orange, and then we lightened it from there. So I always let my clients know that this is what's going to happen to your hair, this is what we're going to do. We might not be able to do XYZ right away, but we will do it eventually, and we just have to see where it goes, because at the end of the day, it's all like a science experiment, and you don't really know how it's going to turn out until it turns out, you know? Don't bleach your hair too often. I know that some people will be like, I have a 1/4 of an inch of regrowth, I need to bleach my hair again. Don't do that. That's how you end up like Ariana Grande and other people who have such damaged hair that it's just completely ruined the makeup of it, and it's just horrible. There's no going back from that. I usually wait until my regrowth is like 1 inch long, maybe even longer. I'm kind of lazy, so it depends. But you will have roots, and that's fine. If you want to, like I said, maintain the integrity of your hair and make sure you are being as careful as possible, that's just part of the process. It's fine. It's not the end of the world if people find out that you're not a natural blonde, you know? Oh yeah, and don't go over previously bleached hair. That is like white. Like this hair is white. I'm not going to bleach over it because that's already dry. It's already seen a lot of bleach and color, and it's already gone through a lot. There's no need to bleach over this. But if you do need to bleach over your hair, like I did with my brother, like I did with my boyfriend's sister, you should wait like 2 weeks minimum. You should do a little bit longer than that if you can, and use a lower volume developer. I used 30 volume when I first bleached her hair, and then I did 20 volume for the second time, and that's just because it was orange. So if your hair is white, you don't need to go over it again, and you shouldn't go over it with it again. And if you have like a color, like permanent color, semi-permanent color, doesn't matter, and you want that out of your hair, don't bleach it out. Don't bleach it out. I cannot stress that enough, because it will just drive it deeper into your hair, and it might look on the surface fine, but the second you start to do like other things to it, it'll come back out, and it's just gonna like permanently be in your hair and just like stain it, and that's not good. So always use a color remover. For like permanent colors, I would recommend Color Oops, I believe the argan oil one is good too. I've heard some mixed reviews about that one, but the general consensus for Color Oops is that it's pretty good. For semi-permanent colors, I don't have it with me, but I use the Ion Color Remover. It's kind of like a vitamin C treatment. You could also do like a vitamin C treatment, and you could use dandruff shampoo to help fade semi-permanent colors, or dish soap. I wouldn't recommend doing the baking soda method. I did that once and it left my hair feeling horrible, so maybe try to avoid that. But I just try to stick with color removers like that Ion one, and I just mix it with hot water. Heat helps that process as well. It's really gentle on your hair. You could add developer to it, but it's not necessary. And I usually just apply some heat with a hairdryer for a little bit. If you do need to apply heat, a good rule of thumb to know is that you should hold the hairdryer like an arm's length away from your head. The actual length is like 3 feet, but I can't stretch my arm that long. Can you? If you have 3 feet arms, I guess that's cool. I don't, so I just doing an arm's length. So you could also do a bleach bath if your color is super stubborn. Like, for example, this purple will not leave my hair for some reason. I don't know why. This pink is also kind of in there. I'm just going to go over it with like a very diluted bleach when I bleach my hair today. But if you want to do like a bleach bath, that is just bleach and developer mixed together with some shampoo. I think you could use like a little bit of water too. I don't really do it that often to fully know the process, but shampoo, which helps dilute it and makes it a lot easier. If you apply it on wet hair too, that'll also help dilute it and just be a little more gentle on your hair. So those were my tips with Trix for how to bleach your hair. I hope you learned something from this. If you have any more questions, please let me know in the comment section below and I will answer them gladly. I hope you enjoyed today's video. This is the results for coloring my hair, for bleaching my hair today. Here we go. Ooh, beautiful. Happy Pride Month. I hope you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your month, and I love you all very much. Thank you for watching this video. Bye!